Hello and welcome. Another year is practically gone. 2017 is almost over. 2018 is almost here. And I thought that meant maybe we should do a sort of list thing. The 2017 was a crazy year for me and this channel. I have grown exponentially over the course of this year, and the channel has I sort of evolved, I guess, the channel into something a bit different than it was in the past, and may have something to do with it, where we showcase new release things, early access things, and I'm practically playing a new game every day, to where we've had over 200 new games shown off on the channel this year, and just there's 163 alone just in the new release playlist, and it's not including the roguelikes and the solo dev ones and the free games. And so we did a lot of games this year, and I thought we could do maybe some sort of a list counting down the top my favorite ones to just show them off, give an opinion on these. Typically I try to not give opinions whenever I play the games as I'm playing them, because I'm given the keys to most of these. And I don't know how valued my opinion is when I'm given the game to show it off, and I don't know if anyone even cares what my opinion is. But today, we're going to give an opinion, and that's the plan. So I have prerequisites here for what's on this list, because I played a wide variety of things, but practically everything that I played was fair game this year. I've thrown out if it was made in the 90s or 80s, those won't be in there. Most of these, I think all of these on here, have been either they are in development or they were released in 2017. They're all basically still being developed at some kind. But anyway, let's start off the list and start with number 14. We got top 14 here. Battle for Wesnoth starts off our list. I played this one during our free games month. It barely made the list because this game has been around for a very long time, but it's still being developed, and it's a fantastic little free game. Just this fantasy turn-based sort of thing, and it's simple. There's a ton of depth to the game, and it's exactly the kind of strategy game that I like. One that is easy to get into, and yet there's just a lot to it. And it actually wasn't my favorite of the free games month. There's another one to come, but I really enjoyed this one, and I've yet to play a multiplayer game of it, but I should do that. Yeah, I really enjoyed this one. Staying with that weird theme that we had, unusual theme, we've got Chomp. This one was, okay, it's unique. It was one that I played back during Roguelike Month, and it was actually created during the 7-day roguelike. It took 7 days. I think it was just one person, developed this game in 7 days. It's a whole, you're basically a monster, and you gotta go trash a town. And it's really simple, but it was amazingly fun. Just the look of it was perfect. Yeah, the perfect roguelike that it was my favorite roguelike of the roguelike month that we played. My favorite 7-day roguelike, the whole month. That was the one, and I could play this one for a long time. It reminded me of playing Rampage when I was a kid. I guess it's Rampage from the top down, I guess would be a good way of explaining that one. Number 12, we have Forsaken Isle. Played this one back earlier in the year, and there's nothing really too unique about it. And it's just sort of your run-around survival open-world roguelike. First one that you actually have to pay for on the list. The other two are free, by the way. But I played a whole series on this one. I think we had like 14 or 15 episodes on it. And it was a really enjoyable kind of game. Just the art style and just the way the game plays out. And of all the open-world roguelike survival games that I have played so far on the channel, this one was number 1, and so that's why it made it onto the list. Starship Theory, number 11, takes a bit of explaining. This one came out back in May, June, and I was one of the first ones to get a chance to show the thing off. And it was a huge thing for my channel. This is when I started to kind of explode. The summer explosion for my channel this year was partially due to this game being really popular. And other than that, it was a really fun game. Take RimWorld, put it in space on a spaceship. You build your ship up and you gotta shoot and whatever. Sadly, however, the dev had some family issues not too long after releasing it. So it was like maybe a month or two of updates. And he was on it. Like every day there was a new update coming out. And then he had a family issue, and he has not really touched the thing since then. But he says he's not dead yet. He's just taking some time off, and he will come back to the thing. I really hope he does, because I really want to see this one developed, because I'm really looking forward to what it will turn into. Even as it is right now, it's still a really fun game. Sadly, the reviews on Steam are kind of tearing it apart because it's not getting developed. But hopefully that doesn't wear him down too much. But yeah, this is a really fun one. Plus, it was a huge hit on the channel, so that one had to go. Number 10 is Cogmind. Cogmind, what a roguelike should be. Just the art style, the way the game plays. It is kind of your 21st century roguelike, the way the playing plays out, and it just the feel of the game and the explosions, the look of the game. It doesn't look like a roguelike. Roguelikes look terrible. That's kind of goes with the territory of roguelike, but not this one. And I certainly enjoyed it. I didn't spend a lot of time with the game, but it was a ton of fun when it finally hit Steam. That's when I finally got a chance to play it, and certainly is worth its spot at number 10. Number 9, we have Rise to Ruins, formerly known as Retro Pixel Castles. This one is a top-down, godlike real-time strategy game where you are a god controlling these pixel minions that try to build up a town, and you got angry pixels that are going to come trying to take over your town. And there's not a whole lot to the game, but it was a lot of fun. I spent a lot of time on this one, and I had to add it to the list because of all these base building games that I play, this one's one of the more fun ones of the year. Number 8 on our list is Dominions 5, a recent one. I haven't put a lot of time into this one. I just got it less than a month ago, I guess. I've only had a few episodes of the thing out, and it is quickly becoming one of my favorites strategy games. And I think the reason for that is just the amount of detail in the game. And one thing I love about games is I don't like it when games have a specific way to play the game. Whenever you're told, like, Civilization is now bad about this, to where you select your nation, you play your nation a specific way, and that's kind of how Civilization works now. This one is different because you can twist your nation up any sort of way and play it kind of however you want, and that's what I love about it. Sort of that sandboxy kind of feel to the thing, and it's crazy detailed. I wish I'd gotten into it sooner. I have Dominions 3 and 4. I've never played them, though, and I've just watched other folks play it, and it's one of those that kind of scares you off just by looking at it, because it seems like an intimidating super strategy kind of game, but it's really not that hard to get into once you finally get into it. But yeah, it almost gives me that Master of Magic feel whenever you're playing it, where you can build your god, you also have your nation, and you sort of take over your lands, kind of Master of Magic style. And it's the first game I've played since then that felt like that kind of a fantasy turn-based game that fit right. I guess it'd be like a souped-up Battle for Wesnoth that we had earlier on the list. But yeah, definitely worth number 8 there. Could probably go a little higher, actually. One of my all-time favorites is number 7. KeeperRL is fantastic. How many times have I said fantastic so far on this list? It's a dungeon master sort of thing, dungeon keeper sort of game where you got to build in your dungeon. You are a dungeon keeper. You got to bring in the terrible folks of the world and go and destroy the good folks of the world. Plays kind of Dwarf Fortress-like, but just the anti-Dwarf Fortress, to where you are the bad guy. Well, you're not necessarily a good guy in Dwarf Fortress either. But I've been playing this one. This one I've been playing last year as well, but I've been putting more time into it this year, and it's still being very actively developed. We got, I think, 3 new updates this year in 2017, and yeah, definitely a lot of fun, and I will continue playing this one. As any chance that I can get, and any excuse I have with a new alpha, I will be playing this one more on the channel. My favorite one from Free Games Month, Remnants of the Precursors. This was going to be the remake of Master of Orion 1. It's made by just one guy, taking the thing from Master of Orion 1, essentially, and just turning it into something that actually you can play nowadays and enjoy without having to use something like DOSBox or whatever. But it's not quite all the way there yet, but I'm really looking forward to the next release when it adds in tactical combat. And yeah, my favorite one from our Free Games Month. There was a lot of them during that month that I really enjoyed. And, well, Battle for Wesnoth is one of them. And I had to narrow the list down, and this one for sure was one of the top games for me this year. Number 5 is the game that anytime anyone asks me, what game should I get that question a lot. And I always have RimWorld. It's always number 1. Do you own RimWorld? If not, get it. It's by far it probably deserves to go a little higher, but there's a few that out pushed it this year. I've been playing it for a few years now, but it is becoming the Dwarf Fortress with good UI game. With every alpha that comes out, it's getting more there. And we've always wanted that Dwarf Fortress game that actually looks pretty and can be played by anybody. And RimWorld is that game, and it's even every alpha, every beta is now becoming that. So it's only number 5 here, but it would be one of those games that I will continue playing off camera and on camera for a long time. So this one, number 4, is I had to squeeze it in there somewhere. It's not actually released yet. It doesn't release until next year, but I played it on the channel last year when I got the demo that they sent to a few of us streamers, and I'm really looking forward to this. This is the game that I'm really looking forward to most of anything else next year. Well, that's number 2 next year of the list of things I'm looking forward to. And it's this sort of base building survival thing where it's like this industrial era post-apocalyptic thing. The thing about it that makes it unique is the moral choices you have. Do you send your kids to work? Do you open a wrestling ring? Do you what do you do with the wounded folks? All those kind of questions that come in that would come up in that sort of a situation. So maybe not the happiest of games, but I'm really looking forward to seeing where that one does next year. I think March is the release. I don't remember what it is actually, but as soon as I get my hands on another update of it, we'll certainly be playing that one next year. Alright, so number 3. This is my favorite game of all time. It always has been, ever since I played it in '94. XCOM, the original XCOM. I almost probably didn't deserve to be on this list because it's an old 90s game, but it's Open XCOM. Essentially, it took the old 90s game, my favorite game of ever, and then made it better. So you can't... it's amazing. Open XCOM is still being developed, so I allowed it to be on here. And yeah, this is it's a great game. And I kind of ruled this by how we played it this year, the stream that we did with our campaign here. We had no alien tech. We basically just blew everything up. And it was some of those fun I've had all year. Blowing up chrysalids, well, and then failing at the very end. Anyways, it was a lot of fun, and we live streamed it, so it made it even more fun. Number 2 is the big surprise on the list. Well, probably not for most of you, but it's a big surprise for me. This one, Bituminous Bear, pestered me multiple times to try this game out. And I looked at the screenshots, and it's not the kind of game that I play. It looks like a single-player MMO. RPG style, you run around, those kind of things just don't really interest me. And RPGs just have this problem, well, for me anyway, where they're fun at the beginning, but once you get into the game, it gets grindy and it just really goes nowhere. Once your character becomes a hero, then what's the point of the game? But Kenshi does it different. It does it right to where it's not just an RPG. You collect up a squad, you can build a base. Right now we're out rampaging through the Holy Nation lands, freeing slaves. We took over another base and we got a ransom with some guy. It's one of the most fun things I've played all year. It's number 2 on the list, and it's one of the games that's... Another thing I have with RPGs is I start playing it, and I kind of... I'm waiting for the game to end, you know, as you play through those kind of games. This one, I don't want it to end because I'm having so much fun with it, and I'm trying to pace myself. I apologize for the videos coming out only every so many days, but I kind of try to pace myself through the game because I don't want it to end. And I'm just having so much fun with it that seems kind of strange. But that's the way it is. But yeah, Kenshi, I'm having a lot of fun with it because the series will continue as long as I can handle it. As long as you can handle it, I suppose. But yeah, number 1, no big surprise here. It's Dwarf Fortress. The reason it's number 1 is we had an update, of course, just a few months ago. I haven't looked forward to a game, to an update like that in a very long time. When the first 44 update came out, I spent 6 hours just on my own playing the game, and I haven't done that in a long time. Many years, actually. And that's... You can't beat it. It's the best game. It's that same thing with Kenshi and with what was it, Dominions, where it's sort of this open thing. You can do whatever you want. You go in for hours describing what makes the game great, but I'm not gonna do that. It's a fantastic game. It's sort of what my channel is kind of all about, and of course it's number 1. What else would be number 1? But yeah. So anyway, that is the list thank you everyone for watching. This is the first time I'm doing one of these list things, but let me know what you think. I would appreciate, I'm sure other folks would appreciate, putting your top 10 or whatever list in the comments for your games of 2017. These are just the ones I played. There's a lot of games out there I didn't play, like, you know, Breath of the Wild. I didn't play any of those, so those don't make the list. But I would be curious to see what everyone else's lists are and if I'm missing anything else that I should be playing next year. But thanks again for watching. Happy New Year, everybody. And I'll see you in 2018.